first person up is Stephanie, who's going to talk to us about the ban about plastic bags. Take it away. Great. Yeah, speaking of ocean plastics, tomorrow, yeah, it's a great segue. Tomorrow is the start of Boston's plastic bag ban, which means that every retailer in the city will be transitioning away from plastic checkout bags that have handles that you get at the register and moving to paper, compostable, or reusable bags. And those 3 new types of bags will be associated with a 5-cent minimum charge. The store has the right to charge whatever they need to over 5 cents to be able to cover the cost of more environmentally friendly bags, which tend to be more expensive. So that's why that charge is there, but it's also there to encourage customers to bring their own bag and avoid the charge at all for a single-use bag at the store. So it's an ordinance to reduce not only plastics in the ocean, but also litter in the streets. I know you've all heard the classic and seen it narrative of the plastic bag stuck in the tree or the plastic bag in the river. Things like that. So that's why this is in place. It's an environmental ordinance as well as a litter cleanup. But tomorrow it will begin. Enforcement is beginning with businesses that are 20,000 square feet and over. So tomorrow enforcement will start for 20,000 square feet and over. 10,000 to 20,000 square feet will begin on April 1st of next year, and then on July 1st of next year we'll begin enforcement of businesses 10,000 square feet and smaller, so that smaller storefronts and smaller businesses, which is most of Boston's businesses, have a little bit of buffer time to learn what they need to do and transition away from plastic checkout bags. There's exemptions for businesses that have existing inventory or it would cause them undue hardship to transition. So it's an easy application process and we're in the process of reviewing. But I hope, did everybody get this? I have extras up here. So this is our classic flyer. I give it out at every community meeting. This is my name on the bottom. I'm Stephanie Aquario. I'm the disposable bag reduction coordinator for the city. So I just coordinate the bag ban. So tomorrow's my big day. But I'm the bag lady. I am. But that's my office phone number where I sit at my desk and hear the phone all day, and that's my email address. So all questions are directed to me. ISD goes to me. If there's any questions from businesses, 311 is all informed, but they'll refer harder ones to me. Pretty much anywhere in the city, you can give a call if you've got a question about it. Are there any questions? Yes.
Just for curiosity, CVS?
Yes.
Will they be using paper bags tomorrow?
It depends on what their store size is.
I don't know.
Right. So the CVSs that are over 20,000 square feet, yes, they have to start tomorrow, and if they don't, they'll be in violation. However, a lot of CVSs are smaller.
And will I get a 5-cent discount if I bring my own bag?
That's up to the store. However, if you buy a single-use bag, you definitely will be charged 5 cents. Yes.
What other cities, major cities, Boston size, has a similar initiative?
DC, Chicago, Austin, Texas, all of California, Cambridge, which is not Boston size, but yes, Cambridge, Brookline, Somerville have done similar things. But we're up there in terms of being a leader in terms of our size and going through with something so large.
Who enforces this? Who's not enforcing?
Inspectional Services, Weights and Measures Department. I just trained them 2 days ago for compliant bags to make sure they'll go in, and I'll be going on the first like 10, 15 inspections to make sure everything's all good. But yeah, they'll be walking around looking for bags. Yes?
So eventually all stores in Boston will have to go non-plastic bags eventually.
Mm-hmm. Next July.
Okay, and I'm just thinking of these chains.
Yeah.
When you talk about an inventory of plastic bags, how do you control that too? That they haven't purchased a huge amount of them or brought in a huge amount from somewhere else, one of their other stores?
Right. So in the ordinance, it actually goes through that. One of the exemptions is for existing inventory, so they can fill out the form. They'll be granted a temporary exemption. There are only temporary exemptions available. There are no permanent exemptions. And they'll have to send in documentation monthly to inspectional services showing the reduction in their inventory.
Is there a time limit on that?
The exemption is for 1 year.
No more than 1 year?
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
Curious, and I don't know if you have the answer to this. So let's say that I'm your Whole Foods grocery store,
Yeah,
and well, no, that I'm not going to use them because they use paper.
they do.
Okay.
Do Stop and Shop.
Stop and Shop.
Love that
Okay, so Stop and Shop. And I buy my groceries. My groceries cost $100 and I don't have to pay for bags. And now I have to pay 5 cents a bag.
Yes.
But I was walking and I decided to go shopping. So now I'm going to be the proud owner of 4 or 5 bags. So when you go out walking and you live in the city, you got lugging bags.
Right.
You have a little purse and you have your money and your charge card, your ID, and that's it. So who's reaping the benefit of all of that money that they're no longer paying to give us a bag because the city says they have to charge us 5 cents?
Mhm. The stores will all keep those fees.
And so what, was that their incentive?
So as a municipality, the city can't collect charges on a sale of an item. So the sale is taxable. It's a law that they have to sell this for 5 cents. So it's taxable by the state sales tax, but that money, whatever they charge, will go back to the stores. So what we're hoping is that folks, yes, who are walking around will, as folks in Cambridge do and in other places, make a habit of bringing a reusable bag with them that's small and folds down and fits in your purse and your backpack, and just bringing them wherever you go if you just decide to stop while you're walking. That's most of the feedback we've received from Cambridge. I talked to the people who worked on the Cambridge bag ban a lot, and they say people just began to make sure they had a reusable bag with them everywhere they went. They write it on their grocery list, or they put one that folds down in their purse, on their keychain.
Well, a
briefcase.
bag is never an issue. It's
Right.
bags.
Bags, multiple
It's bags.
bags.
So for example, I go, and walk across and go grocery shopping,
Mhm.
and then my husband picked me up. But I'm not lugging all those bags. You know what I'm saying? Because that defeats the purpose of the walk. And a lot of times you're out shopping and you don't plan on stopping somewhere. And you end up stopping, let's say, at the Goose, and you buy a bunch of things that are very heavy, but you were out for a walk, you weren't out to go shopping. I just think that the stores are gonna make a lot of money on bags when it's something that was supposed to be good for everybody, for the environment. And it's the taxpayer again that's being sort of fined.
Stephanie, wasn't part of the rationale to compensate merchants since arguably recyclable paper bags cost more than
Yes.
single-use plastic bags?
Definitely. Usually recyclable paper bags that have to be made from 40% post-consumer recyclable material cost over 25 cents a bag for the store to purchase. So that's why it's a 5-cent minimum charge, and we're trying to focus on smaller businesses instead of chains. But to your point, I do get this question a lot. I get the question of, well, all of the big chains are gonna make money off of this, and that shouldn't be the point. But it's also an option for folks to not give the store the pleasure of getting your money and to bring your own bag. And that's the rationale there, is that it's a choice. It may, to some, feel like an inconvenience to have a bag with them at all times, but from other feedback, we've learned that other cities have just kind of learned to make a habit.
It's gonna be fun when the pushcarts get hit by this a year from now or so.
Right, yes.
They're big users of plastic bags.
Yes. Yes.
I saw the news tonight, specifically Stop and Shop,
Right.
and they did say they're going to donate those 5 cents, whatever they collect, to the Greenway Conservancy.
Yeah, we hear this a lot too. So Whole Foods in Cambridge and other cities, other large cities of our size that have done this, have chosen to put all bag funds into some sort of donation pot that they'll give to environmental charities for plastics cleanup, especially in Boston with the harbor and the oceanfront. We've got a lot of organizations dedicated to that. So we're pushing for that, but it's also part of my job to reach out to those businesses and say, hey, what are you thinking of doing with your bag charges? Boston residents want to see you use these fees to something good. We want to know what you're doing.
So the bags aren't really reusable, so you can't turn the bag in like you turn in a can, you put a deposit on a can, you turn it in, you get your deposit back. So you can't turn the bags in because you're gonna end, I just can envision myself spontaneously shopping and not planning on it, and then now I've got 100 bags.
Whole Foods used to give you a 5-cent credit if you brought your own bag.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, so, you know, that wasn't even considered as part of this, that you can turn in your bag and get, you know, 5 bags is 25 cents, and then somebody else gets to reuse them, or are they not really durable enough to be used many times?
That's the thing. So the whole ordinance deals with single-use reduction, and so that's why the charge is there. The charge has been found to really encourage people to bring their own bag. And in cities that didn't have a charge on their single-use bags, whether or not it's paper or compostable, they found that people still used the same amount of single-use bags, and so their litter just changed from plastic bags to paper bags. So we put the charge in there, as DC did, and as Chicago did, as Cambridge did, to discourage customers from getting a bag at all, and further reduce that waste, so that there's no question of single use, and just continuing to bring a reusable bag. Yes?
What's the intention, grocery stores makes a whole lot of sense, but what's your intention immediately day one for every restaurant to be hit by this too? I've gone to 2 downtown restaurants, and they both warned me that they're going to be starting to charge for bags on Friday, and they will charge at the 25-cent level. You know, so, but it just seems like, you know, if you're going to Billy Thief as a takeout, or if you're, or worse, if you're in a restaurant and decide to get a little doggy bag, you're probably not going to have the bag for that with you, because that sounds like going shopping and getting the bag. So why was that done? Can you undo it?
Right, so that was before my time, but what I can offer to you is that Cambridge's also includes restaurants, and it does specifically include restaurants in the ordinance. For waste reduction, it began in City Council and then went to the Mayor's office. So I think it was their thought process, but just the continuation of hoping that people will have a reusable bag on them at all times, because they do fall down.
So it'll hit the push carts day one?
Yeah, it'll hit every retailer in the city. Not tomorrow, maybe, if they decide to do that, because they won't be inspected until next July, depending on their size, but yes, that's specifically included in the ordinance, yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong, at the hearing they said you cannot return the bags, health department, whatever you put in it, you can't pay it back to the store.
I'm sorry, I don't know if I understand.
Once you put the bag, so you put grapes and onions and whatever, to take that back for a guy to reuse it, is the health department was against it.
Oh, I have not heard that before.
Hang on to them and bring them back in and use them self-the-second time.
You can reuse your own bags, the store can't.
I didn't say reuse, I said them taking them back.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
They have to take them out.
You bought them, you own them.
Yeah.
No one reuses a deposited can. You don't bring the 5-cent back to the store and then have someone else have a Diet Coke out of the same can.
I'm saying that's why they don't want to take them back either.
So what's next after bags? Because, no, and I
It seems
hope
like a
that there's,
disgusting question.
I hope that you're looking at the
Straws.
next plastic item. Right, straws is another one, but there's so many foods that come in plastic containers. Doggy bags are no longer bags, they're plastic containers, a lot of them.
Right.
So are you looking at other things as well as bags?
That's a great question. My job is only for bags. So, what's my job at?
But you need job security.
Right. I'm temporary, by the way. I head out in May.
Exactly.
So I'm here to help get it in there and help lead it out, and then I say, see you later.
Find another city.
Right? Yes.
What's happening to the companies that were making the plastic bags? Are they
They actually, like, most of them make the new kinds of bags now.
That's what
And
I
I get
thought.
calls all the time like, hey, can you tell businesses in Boston that now we make paper bags that are ordinance compliant? Can you tell them?
And the profit
So-
margin is even higher.
Yeah, it's higher profit margin, so they're benefiting from this.
Can you bring your own plastic bags in?
Yes, you can bring in your old plastic bags from Stop and Shop, and use them again if they're not totally torn.
But you find that most retailers, especially large ones, don't charge for it, because I know I went to Home Depot and
For the
got a paper
plastic
bag.
bags?
Yeah.
Give me a paper bag, and they've been charging me a nickel.
Starts tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Well, it was in Somerville, so it wasn't here.
Somerville has its ordinance.
I'm not sure what Somerville's policy is.
When you're spending $100 or more, you're gonna start asking people for a nickel for a bag? I mean, that's crazy.
We're hoping that if you're spending $100, nickel won't matter too much.
So when you leave, is someone else gonna kind of take up the slack and make sure this keeps rolling? or-
Yeah, so I mean, my position is community engagement and outreach for this, but I'm obviously not the only one doing this. I mean, the mayor
No,
is.
That's not necessarily obvious all the time.
Oh, sorry. I am not the only one doing
Okay.
this. It isn't obvious. But the mayor is involved in this process, and so his departments are encouraging the kind of guiding through businesses through this. I work half the time at City Hall with Environment Department, but I also work half the time with Inspectional Services. So the Weights and Measures Department is the enforcement piece of this. So they'll be continuing through enforcement, and I'm there to provide them with materials and to help make sure businesses know what to do to be compliant in a streamlined and easy way. However, Zero Waste Boston, which I don't know if
What's it
you,
called?
Zero Waste Boston.
Zero waste.
So to speak to what's next, Zero Waste Boston is an initiative to move Boston towards having zero waste. So everything is recyclable, everything is compostable. And that's a movement that we've had a consultant team having meetings about and discussing, and they're wrapping up now. So 2019 we'll be kind of deciding what our next steps in how to continue making Boston
Garbage
green.
bags.
Yeah, garbage bags are fine. This is only for bags with handles.
Yeah,
And then-
that's what's next. This plastic garbage bags are gonna be next.
Oh, no. The city incinerates their trash, so whether or not the bag is plastic is.
In Europe, they've been charging for bags for 40 years. They
Yeah.
survived.
Yeah. Yeah, Ireland's been doing this for a very long time, so. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Well,
Well, I was just gonna say, I'm excited that Boston is finally moving forward.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All the BCYFs have been stocked with bags, even the Zorro Center. We got them, tonight. So they'll be stocked with reusable bags. We had Office of Neighborhood Services giving out bags at stores in their jurisdictions today. So you guys get some of the brand new ones. No community meetings have gotten these ones yet, so.
Make sure Victor gets one.
Yeah.
What are you charging for those?
Yeah, right, these cost, but I'm just kidding. These are free. It
Put
starts
the mayor's
tomorrow,
windows
so
on.
I'm still good. Yeah, they'll be okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.